Here we fucking go, boys. Welcome to the Royal Rumble review. Oh my fucking god, did they do it again, people? Did they do it again? When you look at WWE and when you're like, the Royal Rumble overall is a great pay-per-view. I'm talking specifically about the Rumble match right now. When you look at every possible outcome that could have happened, they managed to find the one that sucks ass. I don't know. Here we go. Here's the Rumble review, people. Alright, so the opening match of the night was the pre-show match. It could not have mattered less at all. It was Mark Henry and Jack Swagger on a team for some reason versus Darren Young and Damian Sandow on a team for some reason versus the Dudley Boys versus the Ascension in a fatal four-way tag match. Of course, one of the two actual tag teams in that match somehow fails to win the tag match. Mark Henry and Jack Swagger move on to the Rumble. Could not have mattered less. Jack Swagger was in the Royal Rumble for a total of 15 seconds. Mark Henry was in the Rumble for a total of 30 seconds before they were both eliminated. Holy crap, that was a waste of my time. Match number 2, Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. Last man standing match for the Intercontinental match. I actually really liked it. The only thing that I was left... I was very satisfied by the end of the match. I was glad how it went. We all kind of knew Dean was going to win this one, but they still managed to put on a great match nonetheless. The only thing that I was left wondering, the only thing that I wanted more from that match when it was all over, now that they've teased that I want to see Kevin Owens do a moonsault into a bunch of chairs. He had them all set up, whether it's on somebody or whether they move out of the way. Kevin Owens looked like he was about to do a moonsault into a bunch of chairs, and then Dean shoves him off the top rope. He goes forward, lands through 2 tables on the outside of the ring, down for a 10 count. Very good match. I like that one a lot. Match number 3, New Day, Big E, Kofi with Xavier Woods defeated the Usos. Obviously, interference from Xavier Woods. Decent match overall, pretty botchy around. That was the theme. The theme was like the Rumble overall as a whole, last match aside, the ending of the last match at least. Good, but very botchy in a lot of places. The tag match was a little this, that, and the other. People missing roll-up, certain things, this, that. Just weird stuff. Decent match with the Usos and New Day. New Day ended up picking up the victory. Again, we all kind of saw that one coming. Of course, a little bit of interference from Xavier Woods on the outside of the match, but it is what it is. Decent tag match overall. I was very sleepy during the Rumble. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That'll come into play later, but don't worry. 4th match of the night. This is actually the one match on the card that surprised me. Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio, and Kalisto won. Now, I didn't even know because I don't watch SmackDown. Del Rio got his title back on SmackDown a week or 2 ago. I had no idea. I thought Kalisto was still the champion, so I thought Kalisto was going to stay the champion, but once I learned Del Rio had got the title, I was like, why would they play this back and forth game so hard? It's probably going to stick with Del Rio. That was my prediction for that one, but they put it back on Kalisto. I don't know if it's because they got the shock factor from Raw, but then they wanted Kalisto to actually have a real big moment winning it on a pay-per-view. I don't know what that's about. I'm glad Kalisto has the title. I prefer it on him over Del Rio, even though I thought Del Rio was going to win. And it'll be cool to see what he does with it. It'll be cool to see Kalisto wrestle singles matches against other competitors and see what he can do with them as well. But his matches with Del Rio were not bad by any means, and they had a pretty solid match overall. Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Charlotte with Ric Flair and Becky Lynch. Decent match, botches here and there. It's a Divas match. I really like Becky Lynch, and I like what she's doing, and I think I would have liked Charlotte, but they really killed her with what they did once they brought her up to the main card. Becky does lose that one. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't memorable enough for me to remember the ending exactly. I was kind of fading in and out, paying attention at this point. This is, again, with me being tired. Like, I watched most of the match, but the ending escapes me a little bit. Charlotte ends up winning the match, decides she wants to beat up Becky. After the match is over, she starts beating up on Becky for a little while. Sasha Banks' music hit, and that was actually really good. It picked up the whole thing, because, like, obviously I was upset. I wanted Becky to get the title, but we all knew Becky wasn't getting the title. They just put it on Charlotte. She's starting this. They didn't just put it on Charlotte, but she's starting this revolution thing. They're trying to build her up. We get it. She's Ric Flair's daughter, whatever, but Charlotte wins. She's beating up Becky. Sasha's music hits. People love that. I like that. It's good to see Sasha in the whole Divas commotion thing again. I'm glad to see that she's back and doing her thing. And then in the title picture of all things, but she comes out to the ring. She kicks Becky out of the ring, pretends like she's going to be friends with Charlotte, and then puts Charlotte in the bank statement after the match. So that was really good. I like the way that they ended that with Sasha in there. The only thing I don't like about it is they shoved Becky off to the side. I mean, pretty much Sasha Banks kicking Becky out of the ring looked like a metaphor for what they're actually doing with Becky Lynch, and that kind of sucks. I would prefer a triple threat, or God forbid they bring up Bayley and do a whole 4 horsewomen triple threat or fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania for the Divas title. That would be super cool, but I really don't want them to cut Becky Lynch out of the picture, because right now Becky, Paige, and then I guess Sasha. I mean, I know a lot of people love Sasha, but she hasn't done too much on the main card yet, but I don't know. Becky and Paige are like my top 2 divas right now, but I don't hate Sasha by any means. But I'm hoping Becky at least stays around the Divas title picture through Mania. It would be super cool to see her win the title at Mania, because she's like the one, I feel like she's like the one out of the group that was never like like it yet. You know what I mean? Like Bayley's it in NXT right now. Sasha Banks was it in NXT for the longest time. Charlotte is it as the Divas champion right now. It'd be cool to see Becky come through and be the one to win. But no, the Divas division, it's getting into a better place, regardless of if Charlotte's champion and that they're shoving that whole Ric Flair's daughter thing down our throats, and that sucks. Nikki Bella being gone and then bringing up new talent is working really well. Paige has been gone for a little while, and as much as I like Paige, I don't mind it if they're bringing Sasha into the picture and they're getting other Divas up there and working it. No, Divas division can be in a really good place soon. And then it'll be interesting to see if they do manage to build up Sasha and Becky and everybody to what they can be when they do bring Paige and the Bella twins and them back into the picture. It'll be interesting to see how competitive the Divas division actually is and how we could get some really good stuff out of there. You never know. And then finally, we're moving on to match number 6. Oh my fucking God, the Royal Rumble. So the Royal Rumble, up and down, and then the ending, we'll get there. Roman Reigns enters number 1. We know how that goes. Followed by Rusev. Rusev was in there for a minute and a half, and then Roman threw him out. AJ Styles comes to the ring. AJ Styles debuted. When his music hit, we didn't know who it was because his music was different, but the crowd, thank God, it's a really good thing. The crowd knew who he was. The crowd cheered for him, and I know WWE's kind of been half hyping it up on Twitter and stuff like that, but there was a lot of fear of putting AJ in the Rumble for a while because the WWE crowd is super mainstream. A lot of people who watch WWE, that's the only wrestling they watch, and that's the only wrestling you need. I mean, there's a bunch of families. I'm sure a lot of you guys even, and nobody's going to blame you for that. That's how it is. I mean, I myself, I know a little bit about indie wrestling, and I know a couple people who have been to Japan, and I've paid attention to Japan every now and again, but I can't tell you their names, you know what I mean? But I'm aware that there's, and TNA, obviously. God forbid TNA with how horrible it's doing now, but TNA, obviously. I'm aware that there's other wrestling companies outside of WWE. I'm aware that there's a lot of wrestling going on outside of WWE. But there, like I said, there's a lot of families, there's a lot of people. WWE's all they watch, WWE's all they know about. And the fear was when AJ showed up, people were not going to give a damn that AJ was there. People would be like, okay, who's this guy? Like, they gave him a big grand entrance and he's out here doing his thing, but who's this guy? Luckily, that was not the case. People loved AJ and it was super cool. What they did with AJ kind of sucked. He squares off with Roman. It looks like Roman's got the edge. That's whatever. That's your current champion. He's supposed to look better than any new guy that comes in off the block, right? But for the rest of the match, AJ just pretty much took moves from other people. He tried to hit his finisher a couple times, never actually got the job done. It'll be cool if they let him keep his finisher because his finisher's kind of dangerous if it gets botched a little bit. But we might talk about that later. I don't know. But AJ did some stuff. He eliminated a couple people here and there, but for the most part, he just took a lot of moves. He was just in the ring for a long time, took a lot of moves. Eventually, he got eliminated. I believe, was it Kevin Owens that threw him out? Yeah, the Royal Rumble was about an hour-ish in length. AJ Styles ended up getting thrown out by Kevin Owens at about the half-hour mark. He was in there for almost 30 minutes. He was in there for pretty much 28 minutes. He had 2 eliminations himself. Him and Roman Reigns eliminated Tyler Breeze together, sort of, and then AJ threw out Curtis Axel. Other than that, he just kind of stood around in the ring and took moves, which is whatever. But here's to hoping they do something good with him. A lot of people are saying he's probably going to be on Raw. I guess if this video goes up before Raw goes on. My prediction is that he might not be on Raw, or if he is on Raw, it's going to be something really, really short, because a lot of people, myself included, didn't think he was going to make it to the Royal Rumble because they signed him so quick that it's almost too quick to just put him in there. Now, the Rumble, you can get away with because he's just in the Rumble, you know what I mean? Be like, oh, do this move to this guy, this and that. Like, they can work that out. But there's no way in my mind that they have a storyline. I'm going to be very impressed with WWE if they have a storyline written for AJ and something good he can go into right away. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see AJ again until the next pay-per-view even. Or I mean, maybe the Raw before pay-per-view or something, somewhere a little ways down the line. That being said, AJ's merchandise sold out entirely very quickly from the WWE shop. He's already one of their top guys for selling merch, so that's super cool. AJ was very well received. It'll be cool to see what they do with him in the future, but like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if he's not on Raw for a few weeks, or maybe didn't even come back to WWE till the next pay-per-view when they have a proper storyline up and going for him. But we'll see how that goes. Tyler Breeze comes in the ring for a minute, gets eliminated by AJ and Roman. Curtis Axel, Social Outcast, minute 11 seconds. Chris Jericho comes out number 6. He was in the ring for 50 minutes and 50 seconds, which is unreal, before being eliminated by Dean Ambrose. Despite being in the whole match for 50 minutes, he only eliminated one person. That was Kofi Kingston. Kane was in there for 18 minutes. He was thrown out by Strowman. Goldust was in there for 5 minutes. Titus threw him out. Ryback, Kofi came out. Kofi did a cool thing where he was on Big E's shoulders for a while, but then Jericho ended up kicking him down, kicking him out of there. Titus O'Neil came to the ring, and I think people booed Titus, which is super weird. Titus looks like one of those guys who could really be something, right? I don't know. I don't understand people booing Titus, but it sounded like Titus was booed there. He got thrown out by the Big Show. R-Truth came out. R-Truth might have been highlight of the Rumble for me, minus AJ's surprise return. R-Truth comes out, pulls a ladder out from underneath the ring, climbs to the top of the ladder right away, and tries to reach for the tag titles, or not for the tag titles, for the championship, for the Money in the Bank, whatever. He thought it was he had the wrong match in mind, and it was super funny. So he gets down, and then Kane throws him out right away. But it was super funny. I like R-Truth doing that stuff. I hope they do. I don't know. I'm back and forth with R-Truth on if they should actually let him be a serious wrestler ever again, but as long as he's being funny, I'm laughing. I don't know. R-Truth entertains me, I'll say that much. He was only in the match for 40 seconds before Kane threw him out. Luke Harper, number 13. Stardust came out 14. The Big Show, my WWE 2K16 simulation predicted favorite. The Big Show came out at number 15. Neville at 16. Him and AJ had a little bout. That was kind of cool. Strowman at 17. Kevin Owens came out at number 18. Dean Ambrose at 19. And then Kevin Owens was thrown out by Sami Zayn, who came out at number 20. Owens was actually only in the ring for 5 minutes. He made a pretty decent impact, but he was only in the ring for 5 minutes. Somewhere over the course of these entrants, Roman Reigns got thrown out of the ring through the middle rope, so he wasn't technically eliminated by the League of Nations. Rusev came back out, splashed Roman through an announce table. They beat the crap out of Roman, and then they were going to haul Roman off on a stretcher, and Roman was going to go to the back. Now, this is where, here we fucking go, right? That's everybody's mind. Oh, here we fucking go. As soon as they start hauling Roman back on a stretcher. My first problem, everyone knows what's going to happen with this shit. Roman wasn't technically eliminated. The announcers even made it a point to say that he wasn't technically eliminated. We know Roman's going to come back later on in the match and fuck some shit up. It's just how it is. And, like, again, with the predictability, I'm going to talk more about the predictability later and how much it's been pissing me off lately. And why predictability is ruining Roman single-handedly. But, so they take him to the back, but he won't be carted off. I guess it was to show his toughness. Roman won't be carted off. And I'm going to predecess this with, if you're new around here, I fucking love Roman Reigns. I love Roman Reigns. I wish they were using him better. I wish he could have a title reign that he deserved and all this stuff. But they're just destroying him with this writing right now. But they're going to cart him off. But Roman won't be carted off on no stretcher. He's going to get up and walk to the back. Well, I got news for you. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and I know I hate the fucking Attitude Era was better, guys, but this is some classic wrestling, and this should have been the case today. 10 years ago, that shit wouldn't fly. You can get up and you can walk to the back. You don't walk to the back. You turn your ass around and you walk back into the ring. It doesn't matter how bad you're hurt. That's how the wrestling thing works. That's how that should be going right now. He shouldn't have been out there. I don't like him laying in a corner all match like he did at last year's Royal Rumble. I don't like him going to the back like they made him do in this year's Royal Rumble. It's just, it's so bad. I don't know. It's so bad. But anyway, Roman gets carted off. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is the part where I've been exhausted. I've been struggling, trying to fix my sleep schedule. I was up for a very long time. I was super tired at this point, so I laid down for a little bit. Told Nicole to wake me up when Roman Reigns got back in the ring. I was also, we were at a friend's house. It was a Rumble viewing party at a friend's house, right? But I made sure Nicole knew to wake me up once Roman got back into the ring, because I pretty much knew how the rest of this was going to go. While I was sleeping, I missed Brock Lesnar. I've since gone back onto the network and rewatched some of this stuff, kind of skimmed a little bit, but I missed Brock Lesnar. Anyway, keep going down the line. Sami Zayn comes in the ring, eliminates Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn's only in the ring for 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes before he gets eliminated by Braun Strowman. Eric Rowan next, followed by Mark Henry in the ring for 30 seconds. The Wyatt family threw him out. And then Brock Lesnar comes out at number 23, right? And this is what I missed initially. Lesnar apparently went on a rampage, threw out Braun Strowman, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan all by himself, just cleaning up in the ring, what you expect Lesnar to do. Jack Swagger comes out to the ring. He's in the ring for 15 seconds before before Lesnar eliminates him. Eventually, Bray Wyatt comes out, and apparently when Bray Wyatt came back out, the whole Wyatt family got back in the ring and threw him over the top, thus creating a Wyatt versus Lesnar match for Mania. Now, what the hell are they doing with Lesnar? The Wyatt family, man, I tried to give him a chance for the longest time. I tried to be like, you know what, they're just not using Bray right. You know what, I kind of like where Bray is. He's always near the top of the card, but he's always putting guys over. And then they brought out Braun Strowman, and like I was starting to lose, not like Bray Wyatt anymore. And then they brought out Braun Strowman. I'm like, okay, well, Braun Strowman could be something interesting. This could be cool. But then it just gets to be too much after a while. It can't be coincidence this many times in a row. And maybe it's bad writing again. I don't know. But whatever's happening with the Wyatts just needs to stop. Because anything that the Wyatts are involved in immediately just becomes a lot more boring for the most part. He didn't need to feud with Reigns at Hell in a Cell. I guess they had a decent match. But anytime Wyatt feuds with anybody, he feuded with Ambrose for like 16 years when Ambrose broke out into singles. And it killed all of that. And yeah, putting The Undertaker over is one thing. That match, the tag match that they had there was pretty good with Kane and The Undertaker, but it's just, I don't know, it's all over the place. And I'm not a fan of seeing the Wyatts anymore. I don't care. I think they helped to ruin the whole storyline leading up to and the Rumble. What's going to happen at Mania between Brock and the Wyatts? Is Brock going to 1v1 face Bray Wyatt and completely destroy him? Is Brock going to 1v1 face Braun Strowman and completely destroy him, or is it going to be Brock versus the whole Wyatt family? Because that's the only thing that I could see remotely being kind of a challenge for Lesnar at this point, is if Brock has to face the whole Wyatt family in one go. And even then, it's like maybe they can turn something out of it, but it's just they just take all the potential they had with Brock, and they're like, oh, well, now he's going to be a side project at WrestleMania taking on the Wyatt family. And it just kills what they had with Lesnar there, for me personally. It's not like Lesnar's sitting this Mania out, but he's definitely not in a main event spot or near one where I feel like he should be with all the power and hype that he has behind him. But yeah, that's Lesnar and the Wyatts. The Miz gets... Oh, no, wait, no. Sheamus finally comes back out to the ring. After, Bray Wyatt, then Dolph Ziggler comes out. Sheamus goes to enter the ring. And number 29, Roman left at like number 11-ish, give or take a couple numbers. And then at number 29, Sheamus comes out. And before he gets to the ring, Roman Reigns Superman punches and beats the crap out of him. And then Roman rolls into the ring, right? So Roman's finally back. Technically, he's been gone over half the Rumble at this point. And then, of course, the obvious thing that we all saw coming, that we all, in the back of our minds, maybe thought, you know what, maybe they won't do this. Maybe they'll do something exciting. Not the case. Number 30 comes out. It's Triple H. Ziggler does a little bit to beat up Triple H, but he's eliminated by Triple H. Bray Wyatt, it looked like there was going to be a time. This is actually something cool. I know I just talked a bunch of shit on the Wyatts. This is actually something cool. Looked like Triple H was going to have Bray Wyatt do the dirty work and throw Reigns over the top for him. And then Bray turns around and just uppercuts Triple H right in the chin. I love that, because that is something about Bray's character, is that he doesn't work for anybody. He's not the boss's man. He's not your man. I mean, he's his own god in his own world, right? He's always kind of thought that. But that was cool. That was super cool to me, because it looked like Triple H is going to talk Bray into throwing Roman out, because we know Bray doesn't like Roman anyway. And then, no, Bray just turns around and uppercuts him. I did like that a lot. But we get down to a point where after Sheamus has been eliminated by Roman Reigns, there's only Dean, Roman, and Triple H left in the ring. Dean's beat up on the side. I think Triple H like surprise eliminated Roman or something like that, which we knew for the longest time. This is where predictability comes into play, right? But I'll finish explaining the match first. Triple H eliminates Roman Reigns. Dean looks like he's going to do a hell of a job to throw Triple H out, and then in a really lame fashion, Dean gets eliminated from the Royal Rumble. I just didn't like the way he was eliminated. It was super obvious, but now I get to go on a rant about just how bad it is. And this is the thing that I was talking about earlier, where there's an ocean of possibilities in this whole mixture. You have Lesnar, you have Reigns, you bring back Triple H, which could lead to anything else. You have the Wyatts in there, and then you have a shitload of other superstars, right? Dean Ambrose included, especially near the end there, of possibilities that you could take with this. If you decide not to include the Wyatts, let Roman, surprise eliminate Lesnar. Don't take Roman Reigns out in the beginning. Let him just stay in there and do his thing, right? But you could have Roman Reigns eliminate Brock Lesnar, right? And then that could start the feud between, and then just have the ending the exact same it was. Except let Dean win, right? So let's just say Roman eliminates Lesnar, Triple H eliminates Roman, and then Triple H and Dean Ambrose face off. But Dean gets a surprise victory. Do you have any idea, regardless of what happened before then, do you have any idea how hyped that would have been? How cool it would have been? Because it's not like Dean isn't ready. It's not like they don't know Dean isn't ready, you know what I mean? And it's not like everybody didn't see this coming. And I guess I need to backtrack a little bit before I can go any further forward. We saw it at Survivor Series, right? Survivor Series, Roman was supposed to take on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins gets injured. They do a tournament. They do a tournament bracket that Roman Reigns is entered in. And everybody knows Roman's going to win that. Everybody knows Roman's going to win that. Everybody also knows Sheamus has that Money in the Bank cash in ready at any moment, right? We knew Roman was going to win that tournament regardless. And I'm going to guess about half the people could have probably guessed Sheamus was going to come out and screw Roman after he gets the championship, right? Everybody saw that shit coming. TLC comes out. Fucking everybody knew that Sheamus was going to win TLC, that the League of Nations was going to come out, that Roman was going to get screwed out of the championship at TLC. Everybody knew that. When the one time they threw a curveball in there, when Roman won the title back on Raw out of nowhere, the crowd loved that shit. The crowd went crazy for that. When they threw the curveball in, when Roman beat the crap out of Triple H after TLC, the crowd loved that. That's the curveball. That's the we didn't see that coming 3 years ago that we needed. You know what I mean? And then here comes the Rumble on its way, and we know we haven't seen Triple H since then, and we know they haven't talked about Triple H really, except for that one time that Vince foreshadowed it, practically gave it away. And everybody knew that they've been setting up for Triple H Roman Mania for a really long time now. Who didn't see this coming? Like, everybody knew Triple H was going to, if they had an idea that Triple H was coming out, everybody knew Triple H was going to win that stupid Rumble. And in the back of your mind, you were always begging it with something else. Let Brock win it. Let anybody else win it. If something cool happens, let Roman hang on to it. Because honestly, at this point, I would have rather seen Dean throw Triple H out over the top. As a dude who loves Roman and wants him to have a really good title reign, hopefully one of these days, eventually, if they let him have one, I would have rather seen Dean throw Triple H over the top than know that Roman's going to win the title back at Mania. Because that's the next thing, is we know Roman's going to win the title back at Mania. And this is why people boo, because they see that shit coming from 16 miles away, because they know what's going to happen. Triple H's ultimate goal is going to be to put over Roman. Triple H only wrestles once a year anyway, so it's not like he's going to have the title any longer than Mania as is. And this is completely killing it. And it didn't have to be Dean, right? It could have been, hell, Ziggler could have done it. I mean, maybe Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family's kind of iffy with me right now, but Ziggler somehow managing to stay in the match and throw Triple H over the top at the end would have been so cool. People would have loved that. As a guy who's kind of fallen off with Ziggler lately, I would have been thrilled if Ziggler would have still been in the ring and thrown Triple H over the top at the end. Just like anyone but Triple H, because we all knew what was coming with that. And it kills me at this point. It really does. And as somebody who's seen, I mean, who's been a Roman fan since the Shield. I mean, like a hardcore Roman Reigns fan in particular since the Shield. And he came out of the Shield and everybody fucking loved him. And the Money in the Bank, and people were cheering him, but he got screwed out in that one. And then the next year's Money in the Bank, and people were cheering him, and he got screwed out in that one. And then they finally bring him back for the Rumble, but everybody knew he was going to win the fucking Rumble, so he got booed there. And then a whole year later, it's come full circle, and people were booing the shit out of him all year, but then they finally threw a curveball and did something different at TLC and after TLC. And people cheered him for like a whole month and a half, until it was so obvious he was supposed to win this Rumble, or Triple H was at this point, right? And then people were booing the shit out of him again at this year's Rumble, and it's so shitty to see them killing him with writing, because I used to be upset when people would boo it. I'd be like, stop. Like, why are you booing Roman? Roman's talented in there. He's talented at what he does. I like seeing Roman do what he does. He can get hype. He's huge. He can throw people around the ring. His Superman punches. I mean, he's got a whole repertoire of stuff. I don't see the reason to boo Roman, but at this point, I'm kind of booing along with the people, and I'm not booing Roman. I'm booing at how fucking obvious all this shit is. Like, even the idea, like, even knowing, almost practically knowing, there's a 95+% chance at this point Roman wins the title back at Mania. They've almost made me not care anymore, because I know it's coming. And then all I have to look forward to is after Mania at this point, and hope that Roman can have some good matches and an unpredictable title reign that happens where he has, and hopefully the crowd gets behind him, but I don't see how it's going to happen unless Triple H can pull some stuff off to make people really hate Triple H before Mania. I still see Roman getting booed at Mania as is. Unless they pull some magic out of their ass, unless they could do something crazy here. You're setting Roman up with how fucking obvious this is for him to get booed to shit again at Mania, and that's not going to go over well for anybody. We just need a curveball at this point. I would have been totally fine. Like, let's just say Lesnar throws out Reigns, or Reigns throws out Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, sets that match up for WrestleMania. You know what I mean? The Roman versus Brock one-on-one that we were always supposed to have, that we were supposed to have last year that Seth Rollins interfered in. Let that hash out. Let Roman say, you know what, I'm going to go back for my title eventually, but I need to take care of Lesnar first, because Lesnar's been a thorn in my side for too long now. Let Roman and Lesnar hash it out at Mania. I would love that, even if it's not for the title. I would love that. Then you can have the Mania picture. Be like, let's just say Dean threw Triple H out to win the title, and Triple H is like, okay, we're done with Roman for now, but then we got Dean to deal with. We still have to get the championship back in the Authority, and Dean's this crazy asshole, because Dean is ready. It's not like Dean couldn't hang on to the title. Same thing with Ziggler at this point, you know what I mean? It's not like Ziggler couldn't hang on to the title. And at this point, I'm kind of talking in circles with how I'm going, so I think I'm going to go ahead and be done there. I mean, I could rant on this for a whole lot longer if I wanted to, but I'm pretty much going to be saying the same stuff from here on out. So you guys know how I feel now. It's just too damn predictable. It's upsetting for me to see them killing Roman. I am probably not going to keep tabs on Raw. I still have the network. I'm still going to watch pay-per-views when they come up. I'm going to keep tabs on Raw. I should say I might stop watching Raw. I'm going to leave it up to Twitch chat and Twitter and things like that to tell me when cool stuff's happening and what I need to keep an eye out for and whatnot. I don't know if Raw is worth my time anymore. You know they're going to open with some shitty segment Monday night. If this video gets up before Raw goes live, you know they're going to open with some shitty segment where the Authority comes out and talks about how great Triple H is and he's the new champion, and Roman's going to come out and want a rematch. And, oh, you're not getting that till Mania, kid. Or they're going to make Roman beat somebody else at Fastlane, like AJ Styles or some shit at Fastlane. Before he can earn his rematch against Triple H at WrestleMania. Just some awful, awful shit. Like, I don't know. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. I don't know. Bottom line, I don't really care. Fastlane's going to be a shitty pay-per-view because nothing can happen at Fastlane because the stage is already set for Mania in most aspects. It's something else. The New Day isn't enough anymore to keep me watching on their own. It'll be cool. Hopefully AJ Styles does some good stuff when he's coming to the ring. Hopefully they bring up a couple new guys and have them start doing good stuff. Lesnar versus Wyatt's is super meh, and for Lesnar that sucks ass because Lesnar hasn't been super meh in a really long time. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me today, guys. What did you guys think of the Rumble overall? The pay-per-view as a whole, decent pay-per-view. Matches not awful. I mean, some of them were kind of botchy. Matches not awful. AJ Styles coming out in the Rumble, super hype. Most of the Rumble pretty damn good. The ending of the Rumble was garbage, and I am not excited for the future at this point, but that might just be me. I know I'm sounding super negative, and I don't want to be super negative. I want to like this stuff, guys, but it's when they take like every possibility that they have and they just pick the worst one, and I'm done. That's gonna wrap it up for me today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe for more WWE reviews and things like that. I'm Thundershot. I'm out. Peace, late, and we will see you.